My name is Howard Keskitalo, and I was born in 1920, and I lived from the invention of the automobile, which was in the 20s, and all the way to the present day sophisticated automobile that we experience today.
Okay.
And I lived through the Depression, the 1930s, which are very difficult years. In the 1940s, I went into the Army into the 1940s. And I spent 3 years in the Army. I was very happy to get out. And then in the approximately 1950, I went to Michigan State and completed 4 years. Got a Bachelor of Science degree from Michigan State. And I worked for about 34 years. What was it? 34 years. At Caterpillar Tractor, and I have enjoyed retirement ever since I retired in 1985, January 1st of 1985. I've been retired as long as I worked, and I'm now 97 years old.
Okay, good. All right, so the next question is, what is your personal definition of the word success? What does success mean to you?
Well, I think living a successful life, living a satisfying life with accomplishments, and living a healthful life. It's a successful life, I feel. And but living a successful life enough to carry you through retirement with sufficient funds so you don't run out. I was fortunate to work for Caterpillar, who paid me a good retirement pension, plus all the benefits that I had earned while I was working there.
And how about, you said a successful life is a life of satisfaction.
Yeah.
Can you tell me more about when do you feel satisfaction in your life?
Through accomplishments.
What kind of can you give examples?
Well, I was lucky enough to be assigned an assignment at Caterpillar to come up with a two-way side dump bucket that will dump to either side, and I was able to do that very easily. I was in my prime, and I got a patent on that two-way side dump bucket, and it worked. It was without any reservation. It stayed on the tractor. It was a safe bucket. Whereas there was a Swedish bucket at that time too on the market, and I don't know if the Swedish bucket ever made the market. Well, anyway, that it was tested in competition with Caterpillar's two-way side dump bucket, and the Swedish version fell to the ground. As I understand it, I wasn't there. I didn't witness it. Whereas my side dump bucket performed without any any kind of problems. Okay.
Okay. Yes, that's okay. The next question is, I'm sure you've had many happy moments in your lifetime, but what has been the happiest moment of your life? Or what first moment comes to mind when you think of a happy moment in your life? Is there something that comes up?
Well, when I got out of the Army, that was the happiest moment in my life. I got a discharge.
Wow.
After 3 years in the Army, I got a discharge, and I was very happy to get that. I was released from bondage.
Oh, wow. So tell me about the difference. So you had bondage. What was the lifestyle of bondage versus the next lifestyle you experienced after getting discharged? Can you tell us about that?
The bondage in the Army?
Yeah.
Well, our life belonged to the Army. That was the bondage. You did what they tell you, and whenever you were required to be somewhere, you had to be there, and there was no question about it. There's no, well, it was that way. They ruled your life in the Army, and according to their rules, too. You lived according to their rules. And, well, there's no comparison between that and being out of the Army. You're on your own. And one thing the Army did do, they fed us and clothed us. After you get out of the Army, you're not taken care of that way either. But that was, if you consider it a good thing, why you might consider that. But that's all.
Okay. So what did you do when you got out of the Army to celebrate? Did you do something to celebrate getting out of the Army?
No, I didn't. There was no celebration. You mean immediate celebration?
Yeah, because that day when you were discharged, what was the feeling like? And did you have some sort of celebration with the people that got discharged on the same day together, or did you do anything with your family?
The only celebration was we boarded I was discharged in Wisconsin, and we boarded the train at Milwaukee. There were about 3 or 4 of us, and they were going to the Upper Peninsula too. And we celebrated on a train. And
Okay.
well, not that to any extreme, but we had fun on the train going back. It reminded me of that movie, The Best Years of Our Lives, when the fellas got on, were together when they were being discharged, and they followed each other for some time. And it was very similar to that. And, you know, when you were in the Army, you were friends with everybody. We became friends just on a train. Anyway, that was great. Just celebrating and going home, knowing we were going home.
Yeah, sure. Oh, good.
Going home, you know. It's like the song, Going Home.
Oh, good. Yeah. And what was the reaction you received once you came home from the Army?
Nobody was there to greet me. I just came home, and I got off the train at 4 o'clock in the morning. It got into Republic at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I walked over to my niece's house, and there was a truck that I was involved in before I went in the army. It was divided in three parts. My dad bought one part, and I had one part. My brother had another part. $100 apiece, and we paid $300 for the truck, and we had a truck then. Anyway, that truck was in my niece's yard, and there was a key in it. And I got into that truck and I drove home.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And on the way home, I ran out of gas, of course. And I ran out of gas, and I stopped I was near a house, and I don't remember getting the gas, but I do remember that they offered me coffee. By then it was about 5 or 6 in the morning.
Wow.
And then after that I continued on home.
Oh, so did you know the people at the home that you asked?
Yes,
you knew them.
Everybody knew everybody else in the Republic.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, they knew me, and I knew them.
Oh, okay. Oh, good. Wow. So then you arrived at your home in Republic, and what was the reaction like?
Well, there weren't any parades. There was nothing special. I was just home. That's all. Nothing fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah. No. Back then there were no parades. We were expected to serve.
Oh.
And once you served, why, if you could come back home, yeah, the home was still there, and your old job the government mandated that your old job should be there if you had a job.
Okay.
Is
Yeah.
that good enough?
Yeah, sure. All right. Next. The next one is, if you were 20 years old, if your age was 20 and you had the wisdom of 97 years, what would you do? If you had the wisdom of 97 years old and the body and mind of a 20-year-old, what would you do?
No, well, I think I'd make the same mistakes from my life that I made in my life going to 97. But I don't. It'd be very difficult to give somebody advice because the environment that they'd be living in would be substantially different than the life that I lived in, the environment that I lived during my lifetime. It was a good time to live when I was growing up. And there were jobs after the Great Depression. There were jobs, and if you were willing to work, why, you could get a job. That was after the Great Depression. It was a good time to be alive. And if you were just had the ability to do menial work, why, there was a job for you. But then now there aren't any jobs. Automation has taken those jobs. It's a different life. I don't know how I would react to living my life today. It's entirely different. You have to have skills today, and there's no other way.
Okay. Let's go to the next question then. So, what is the biggest regret that you've had in your life?
The biggest what?
A regret.
Regret.
Yeah. Do you have any regrets?
No, regret. No, I can't say that there was anything that I remember on that. You mean in the way of a decision that I made?
Sure. Anything maybe you would have changed about the past, or if you could go back now, if you had a time machine to go back in your life, would you have made a different decision?
I don't think so. I can't think of anything that I could change. You live according to the dictates of the time era you're in, and you according to the dictates of what you can do, what your talents are, and I had to live according to those dictates. Those things that I was good at, I had to capitalize on it, and those things that I wasn't so good at, I just avoided. And that was about that. Okay, I don't remember anything that I could have changed about that. Because that's what you're born with.
Yeah, sure. Okay, good. Let's do the next question then. So, what advice would you like to give somebody about life that are in their 20s or 30s, maybe younger guys like us? Any advice about life you'd like to give us?
Yeah, sure. Just appreciate yourself. Don't expect to be a genius, and don't expect that you have to be a genius to be happy. You have to live according to the dictates of your talents, and you have to accept yourself as you are. And I think that's about all I could tell anybody. You have to live according to the environment you're born into.
Okay. All right, good. Let's see. The next question is, so I've talked to a lot of younger people, and a lot of younger people, actually, they say that they do not want to live until 97 years old.
Well,
what would you like to say to those people?
Well, you can live to be 97 years old if you don't abuse yourself, and if you live a happy life and you're lucky enough to inherit the proper attributes so you can live a healthful life, you should live it. I see no reason not to want to live to not be 97. If you're healthy, you want to live up to be 97. I've been fortunate that I'm healthy enough to want to live to be 97.
Oh. Yeah. Yes, a lot of younger people I've talked to, I guess, they say, I'm young, so they think they can make some choices that are not so healthy now, and they say, okay, well, if I live until 70, it's okay. I don't need to live until I am 100 years old.
Yeah, live today.
What would you like to say to those people?
Live today, and the hell with tomorrow. Is that the idea?
Yeah, that's their idea.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Well, I guess that could be their choice.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's a good idea to go on drunken parties and smoke cigarettes and all that, and then suffer for it later in life. I think that's the height of stupidity. And that's about what I think of that kind of thinking and live for today. I think you have to think about later on.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna have a family, why you certainly need to look after your health, especially the breadwinner. But in today's world, well, the woman and the man are both breadwinners. I think everybody has a responsibility to their own family.
Okay.
To watch out for their own health.
Okay. Yes. So you've talked about watching out for your own health. How have you personally watched out for your own health? Can you describe about that?
Well, I never went to extremes. I never smoked. I never drank to extremes. And I didn't smoke marijuana. I didn't. I had good medical care. I was lucky to have Caterpillar medical care. It was wonderful medical care whenever I needed. For most of my life, I've been healthy. I didn't need that much medical care. She said, luck.
Okay. All right, good. And the next question is, do you think the world has changed in 97 years for the better or the worse? What do you think?
Well, we've got a lot of labor saving gadgets, all kinds of gadgets, machines, earth movers, everything. You don't have to do manual labor anymore. But the manual labor used to be a way to make a living during my lifetime. Nobody wants a laborer anymore because the machines will do it more and more efficiently and at less cost, and you don't have to pay them retirement pay. The machine doesn't need any retirement. And I lost my track.
The machines don't need any retirement pay, you said?
Yeah.
So do you think the world has changed for better or worse?
In that respect, it's bad. You cannot find a job. And a guy that doesn't have the moxie to have a sophisticated job, he's just out of luck. In that respect, it's bad. And another thing about today's environment is we're using up the earth. We've got overpopulation is eventually going to be a big problem. How you're going to live at that is up to somebody else. And then today's generation doesn't seem to be good custodians of the environment and our earth. And that's a big mistake. They'll suffer for it. Well, that's enough.